What's going on, guys? I'm Maze, and recently a brand new episode for the Pokemon Sun and Moon anime aired on TV. Episode 110, Hole in One at PokeGolf, which was a adequate time watching the episode. So because of that, I decided for today's video that I will review this latest episode. Hopefully getting yourself to check out the episode too if you haven't already. Let me know in the comments down below for today's question of the day though, what you personally thought of this episode. I'd love to hear. With that intro for this video now said though, let's jump right into this review. So the episode begins off with a character called Kahili, who's a professional PokeGolf player, a sport which involves hitting a ball into multiple holes with very little tries with a Pokemon, trying to dodge some paparazzi, who are asking her why she's been losing a lot recently and what she plans to do next. And although this is such a little scene, I appreciate it. And that is because we saw many golf trainers in the Pokemon games talk about how much they love Kahili. So seeing her being treated like a celebrity here, well, she's always been kinda one, is lovely to see. But once she does dodge the paparazzi though, she finds herself at the Pokemon school about to get hit in the face with a baseball from Ash, which her and her partner Pokemon Toucannon, thinking quickly on their feet, counter the ball with a golf club, which was a pretty sick introduction to the golf mechanic in this episode. Our Pokemon school characters, upon seeing this, then admire Kahili's skills a lot, and even ask her to try out PokeGolf, which although Kahili didn't really want to play golf, her partner Pokemon pretty much pushed her into doing so, which we'll find out later into the episode why it did that. Side note, Sophocles definitely has a somewhat crush on Kahili here. He was one of the only ones who knew about her as well. Moving on to the golf course now though, which I assume is at Akala Island much like in the games, Kahili shows her gang how to play the sport and even starts to find some enjoyment doing so. The rest of the episode then just showing us comedic scenes such as Ash changing his face to resemble a character from a golf anime, Kelly gets it very confident to hit the ball, but then backs away for his Pokemon to hit it instead, and my favourite scene overall, Lily failing to hit the ball due to being so tense. My god, she's such an adorable and hilarious cinnamon roll. Nice rich person outfit as well. We then get to see some cool strategies regarding this sport as well, such as freezing the golf course to make the ball slide in, Togedemaru scaring some Pokemon who were obstacles, and using the Executors to bounce the balls off. Pretty cool. Oh yeah, throughout this episode too, there was this guru guy from episode 33 and episode 60 competing with our main characters, who was trying too hard to be funny in my opinion. So that's why I was ignoring him initially for this video. But anyway, towards the final 10th hole, which is very demonic, like look at this, nobody felt like they could ever accomplish hitting the ball into that hole. But they did believe in our professional PokeGolf player, Kahili, which after seeing everybody cheer for her and even have fun throughout the day, she steps up for the competition and manages to hit the ball in. Hole in one, which was great. But also hilarious because of her using Toucannon as an actual cannon. She also realizes after this that Toucannon made her play with the kids to help her find motivation for this sport once again after hard losses, which was a delightful story. That pretty much ended the episode off. So, with that story now said, let's now move on to my overall thoughts regarding this episode. As you could hopefully tell from some of my reactions, I found this episode to be pretty fun. The anime actually made the golf sport pretty entertaining, despite the real life adaptation being very boring to me. But then again, other sport related episodes in this series have done that for me as well, such as ping pong. So I shouldn't be that surprised that I found some enjoyment. I really adore the sport related episodes. But one thing's for sure, is that this episode was definitely nowhere near as great as the baseball episode, and I even prefer the ping pong episode due to the high stakes with Ilima and even better comedy in my opinion. So unfortunately, when you compare this episode to the other sport ones, it doesn't really stand out. It's the one you would just say to yourself in a couple months time, oh yeah, that one existed. I'm only gonna remember this enjoyment for a week. But before this episode gets buried in my head, let's go over a couple other things I particularly liked about this episode. Firstly, this episode did a neat job of adding more character to Kahili. But then again, we only really did get to see her at 10 Carat Hill and the Pokemon League in the Pokemon games. So we didn't even really get to see her that much in the first place. But regardless of that, yeah, she was a breath of fresh air when it comes to character of the day so far in this series, and it was even sweet to see her find amusement with her passion once again. In fact, I'm sure there's many people who watch this episode that can relate to Kahili a lot because of that story she had. So, there's bonus points to anybody who felt that. Not only that though, but Toucannon, her partner, man, it was for sure one of the best highlights of the episode because of that taking no yet livable personality. It was the one trying to help Kahili find fun once again as well. So, it played a good role in the overall story. Yet, the livable personality and playing a good role for the story can unfortunately not be said for the Guru. Like, he was quite frustrating at times, though I can understand why some people would enjoy his time in this episode. But he ain't that kind of character for me. However, I will admit, I did laugh pretty hard when he ignored Rotom for a good 1 second or two, when Rotom first points out that he was lying about how many years he's been playing golf. The overall comedy actually is another great aspect of this episode, though it is definitely not as great as the other sport episodes, like I said, along with the actual premise, and even other Sun and Moon episodes. You know what? I'd have loved to see Z-moves play a larger role actually, but I guess the writers didn't really want to keep on doing the same thing for each sport related episode, which I can respect. Though, writers, can we have a soccer or rugby episode next? Or maybe even both, like you showcased as the two options in the Poke Problem. I would love that so much. They were both even in my list of slice of life episodes for Sun and Moon I want before seeing that Poke Problem. That list should hopefully come out soon. Just gotta fruitate other video ideas first. But regardless of my hopes, that pretty much concludes the story section for this review. There's nothing else really needed to be said for it. So, let's now move on to the animation and music aspects. Firstly, for the animation, it looked fluid throughout the whole thing. In fact, this episode looked way better than the previous episode, which you would assume would have a better animation director because it was a battle episode. Anyway, my particular favourite highlights for this animation though have to be the brief change of art style on Ash's face and all the moves showcased in this episode. Of course, moves were very important, as you needed them to play this sport. But compared to the music aspects, the music stands on top. Very excellent choices from Steely Lily, Kyoi's theme or something. I like to call it Kyoi's theme, but just so you know, it's the music that usually plays when he uses a Z move. And of course, the music when Kahili performs the demonic 10th hole. It was sweet. Everything else was just adequate, but fit nicely. With that said though, that concludes all these sections for this review. And seeing as I am no longer giving ratings, instead I will just use one word to describe each episode and then suggest whether or not you should watch it. So, the word I'm going to use today is relaxing. It's just a nice time to take your mind off whatever you're doing to watch some fun momentarily. Though it's nothing too special at the same time. But because it is relaxing, I of course suggest that you watch this episode if you haven't already. If you have watched this episode though, then do let me know in the comments down below what you personally thought of this episode though. I'd love to hear. But that everybody, now finishes off this review. Wow, it's quite short compared to my others, isn't it? But if you did enjoy this video, then please be sure to consider leaving a like, a share, and if you're new here, a subscribe along with hitting that bell icon to stay in loop with all things Pokemon anime related. If you want to support this channel in any further way, I also have a Patreon. Thank you for watching everybody, this is Maze, signing out.